Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Near Protocol, reviewing what's been going on with the price action and what I think is likely to happen next. Now, as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will not miss another video update. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into today's video. We'll kick things off with the 1 hour time frame here for Near. So this is Near paired up with USDT, and we're using Binance as our data source. Now, as you can kind of see, we're looking okay here. We are above the 50 EMA, which is our red line just there. We are above the 50 SMA, that's our yellow line just there. And we're above the 200 EMA. So from the kind of traditional ways of looking at markets, we're above these. So we have the 50 EMA, 50 SMA above that of the 200 EMA. And of course, the price action is above all of those as well. So it's all looking pretty good at this point. Smart money concepts also shows us with a bullish structure with these BOSs basically confirming it. So we had the break of structure over here on the 12th of November. That's a bad line. Let's try that again. And then we had a break of structure just over here. And this one happened on the 16th of November. This confirms that we are in fact in a bullish pattern. And then of course we had another break of structure just up here on the 19th of November. And that is confirming that we are still in this bullish structured pattern. Okay, so Smart Money Concepts is saying, just like our EMAs here, that they're still looking pretty good to the upside. Now, obviously, Smart Money Concepts also shows us with all of these fair value gaps, and they are stacking up quite nicely, right? This is something that was, when these tend to happen, this is big money, institutional money pushing the price upwards, and there's a lack of liquidity right where all of these price gaps are. Now, these gaps do have a tendency to get filled out. It's no guarantee, but when you do have a retracement, they tend to fill out those gaps. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Now, Elliott Wave theory is also still looking quite progressive, but there are some issues when you take a look at it from an Elliott Wave theory point of view. Elliott Wave theory tells us that all of these overlapping structures are basically saying that although this is a great move to the upside, it's short term. It is not a long-term trend reversal or anything like that. So although Smart Money Concept tells us that we're bullish and we're above those EMAs and the SMAs, Elliott Wave theory is saying it's great that we're moving up, but don't expect it to last forever. Okay, and so we have these overlapping patterns. So at the moment, it looks interesting. We have here a potential W, X, Y, X, and Z pattern. And let me show you what I think that looks like. So we have this entire structure here. Okay, we move this over to our bounce here. And you can see actually, maybe not W, X, Y, X, Z, but just ABC or WXY. I'm going to go with WXY just to keep it nice and neat. And then I'm going to show you the ABC internal structure here like this. Okay, so for all in all, it's actually falling right in line with where you would expect it to on this pattern. So you can see that we're up inside the $2.02.5 and $2.19.4. This here is essentially where you would expect this reversal to occur out of this structured move. So for everything that we're seeing here, we still have that ability to push up a little bit higher. It doesn't have to move down right away. But here we are kind of reaching that upper limit, it would appear, from an Elliott Wave theory point of view. I was thinking that this was looking like a W, X, Y, X, and Z, but that's not the case because it hasn't met those requirements. And instead, we just have the three waves internally inside our Y wave pattern there. So interestingly enough, we should start to see a little bit maybe of a push higher, but ultimately starting to move back down. Now you can see over here on our stochastics that we're not yet overbought on our hourly, but we are overbought on the 4 hour, the 8 hour, and of course the weeklies. Let's actually move this up into our daily. And our daily chart shows us again another bit of an issue. We have this real great reversal in the market. We can see that we had our change of characterization from our previous bearish patterns that were taking us down to our most recent bear market low, which happened to be the 19th of October. Okay, so we know that we were in a bearish pattern. We kind of moved up here quite nicely. We very impulsive way that it looks, right? So it looks like it's gone straight up, which is great. But then there was this wick coming down here. This wick here is a problem for pretty much most altcoin charts, because it kind of breaks the idea that we're in some kind of impulsive break upwards. Instead, you look like you are more likely to be inside some kind of how do I articulate it? So ABC, so corrective but impulsive. So if we show you this, you have this kind of real big A wave coming up, a B wave with this wick coming down, and then you have a C wave coming up here. Now that shows us with still some potential higher moves here for NEAR, but we are reaching the upper limits. So we are looking for $2.22.8, $2.53.5, and then that is kind of saying we're done. And it's all because of that wick right there. In a nicer world, we would have been better if we actually pulled back deeper, so we could actually gear this up for a 1.618 move. But because of how this wick was sharp but not deep, we actually have a real tough job at trying to make this an impulsive break, which would happen at the $3.12.6. So it's very unlikely. We are almost up in the overbought area. So again, our stochastics are lining up for moves to say that essentially we're running out of momentum. And there is more than likely going to be a move to the downside to correct that. Now, we are, of course, above the 200 EMA, the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA. However, on the daily chart, you can see that the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA are actually below that of the 200. So it's not lined up with the way that you would expect it to from a fantastic run that we see here. Also, although we got this change of characterization, I don't think that's going to last. It'll be interesting if it does. If it does, it's great, but for the most part, not expecting that. And, you know, we are likely to see a bit of a golden cross here, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late and it's not going to actually amount to anything. A couple of fair value gaps also stacked on there, so I do expect price to be pulling back, at least coming back down towards the 200 EMA, which is set at 148, but I expect deeper than even that. Now, if we take a look at this from a weekly standpoint, you can see that we haven't broken the high yet. At $2.84.6. That high at $2.84.6 would basically be a breakout structure, okay? But because we haven't completed that, we still have to look at this as a move to the downside. Our range of this is still very much true. We are looking to 39.3 to 57.3. Now that is something that is going to split opinions. People don't like to hear it. They don't like to acknowledge it. They don't like to kind of appreciate these things. And why I would get so much hate on this channel, because, you know, back in 2022, early 2022, I'm saying Cardano has to go to 22 cent. I'm saying that we have to see 𝗕𝗘𝗪, when it was at 28 cent, drop down to 3 cent, right? People don't want to hear these things, but they do eventually happen if you give them enough time and enough patience. And I think NEAR is right here heading down towards our 57.3 to 39.3. It can, of course, doesn't have to go down as low as this. We do have this point of interest, by the way, at 84.6 to 94.3. But for the most part, considering our move at the moment to the upside, if we were to consider a three-wave pattern internally here, and let's assume that we do push up a little bit higher, you can see that there's going to be a potential need to come down into this range. You can see here that the 1.236 is 57.7, and that's going to be right in line with our C wave as drawn here. So I don't think we're done with the bear market lows for NEAR just yet. I want to be. I like NEAR. I hold a lot of NEAR. I will continue to dollar cost average into better positions on NEAR. But I think we still have a little bit more to go down. The only thing that's going to change this, in my opinion, is a breach higher than $2.84.6. Okay, which I do hope for. Now, in terms of where I think things could go, well, there isn't a huge amount of data here. I still see us with some real good potential moves to the upside, though. Again, we'll know more once we actually start to see patterns and structural moves to the upside. If we have bottomed, then I do see a potential move towards 37. If we do come down to the lows that I'm expecting, then we're talking about 22, pretty much just a double top, upwards towards $53. So I think there's some good growth potential there, but we still have some cheaper prices, in my opinion, on NEAR before we can actually start to think about where the price action is likely to go next. I'm going to leave the video right there, though, guys. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will not miss another video update. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, you're missing a trick. Check it out. Link down below. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.